Things can change so quickly. The pandemic reminds us of this daily. Heading into the latest virus outbreak, the Australian economy was in solid shape. Unemployment was falling and in fact had gone under 5% for the first time in over a decade. Consumer spending was firm and business investment was turning up. But large parts of New South Wales have been locked down for over 5 weeks, and a lockdown until the end of August is sealed. Only Victoria has had a longer lockdown, lasting 112 days in July to October of last year. Victoria and South Australia have also had lockdowns due to this outbreak spilling over, although they have been short lockdowns. Parts of Queensland are now also in lockdown. The long lockdown in New South Wales will be a significant hit to the New South Wales and Australian economy in the near term. So far, there are no convincing signs of a peak in the number of daily infections in New South Wales. Drawing on comparisons with Victoria's second lockdown last year, we estimate the lockdown will likely have to be extended at least to the end of September in New South Wales. And the New South Wales state accounts for around 1/3 of national output and around 1/3 of the population. So a contraction in economic activity in both New South Wales and nationally in the September quarter is now on the cards. It would mark the first downturn in over a year. Encouragingly, the economic rebound, when it comes, should be swift. Recall, we rebounded remarkably quickly from last year's lockdowns. The recovery will be aided by a suite of new government support measures which have been implemented in response to the lockdowns. We are anticipating the fall in activity will be confined to the one quarter and that the economy will bounce back in the December quarter. The disruption to jobs growth should be short-lived also. For this year, we now forecast economic growth is likely to be a smidgen over 3%, instead of nearly 5% before the outbreak occurred. That is a big cut in the forecast, but relative to the long-run average, growth is still solid. And for next year, growth should move into a higher gear. Growth of over 4% is in fact likely for next year. And the unemployment rate should fall to 4% by the end of 2022. Full employment has been estimated by the Reserve Bank at around the low 4s. However, these forecasts rely on New South Wales emerging from the lockdown at the end of September and other states and territories avoiding further lengthy lockdowns. Uncertainty remains high in the short term and the situation is still evolving. The rollout of vaccinations has a critical role to play and should help reduce the length and severity of lockdowns as time progresses. Vaccinations remain a central pillar to allow pandemic management to move beyond lockdowns. Uncertainty will remain a feature for some time, but some of the grey clouds will begin to lift as the rollout continues.